Welcome, everyone, to the Adrian Pius Show. This is a very special show because, folks, quite frankly, I'm angry. I am very angry. I am outraged. I am disgusted. Because not 1 week ago, I heard on the Vox waves that we have a Xenos, a filthy, lying, duplicitous Xenos getting on the Vox waves and trying to fix other people's problems. How arrogant and stupid does an alien have to be to think they can just waltz into your lives after you give them a single call, and they're just gonna fix everything for you? That is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. That is for me to do. So that's what I'm doing here today, folks. I'm giving you the human answers, the man answers. No sissy alien nonsense. No hand-holding. No kumbaya. No talking about your feelings. That's the last thing you ever want to admit to having. Feelings are weak. Feelings are stupid. What you do is you take your stupid feelings and you bury them deep inside your chest, and you never allow them to surface until you've been completely consumed and you're emotionally dead. Then all kindness and empathy will be out of your body, and you'll be ready to serve the Emperor properly. All right, so we've got a few people who've come into so far. We've got Eric Rayner and Chapter Master Calinus Ventuli, Blanket, Pirate Jack, look, Joseph Eastham. Welcome to the Adrian Pius Show. Now we're going to go over the rules, so to speak. The rules, as we always do. Because, well, it's important to know how things are done. I think that's fairly self-evident. So before we get started on giving some of this real advice here on the show, I just want to give you a reminder on how things work here. Pat, of course, will be monitoring the Vox waves for questions people might ask, and he'll feed them right to me. So, and I'll respond as best I can, because I'm going to give you the real opinions on here now. Now, if you want your call taken on the air, a little donation is all we ask to help us keep the lights on here on the Vox Opinion Network, and then I'll lay some hard truth on you, dismiss your suffering, and give you simplistic answers. So let's go ahead and get started, because I don't know about you all, but yes, Pirate Jack has said it on the nose. Feelings are for Xenos. We don't. If there's one thing we don't have in this Imperium, it's feelings. No offense, of course, to the Lamenter chapter who is currently visiting us, and has gone through some lengths to keep this station safe. All right, so what do we got? Go ahead and lay this on me. Well, we have Old Man Skeletal. I have made it. I am cold and drenched, but I am here. Yes, we got storms sweeping the subsector. Just unnatural torrential downpours as far as the eye can see. Fortunately, we've got the sub pumps running here, and hopefully that'll be enough. If it isn't, of course, you can always rely on Never Fail Bunkers. Adrian Pius Never Fail Bunkers. When things get bad, when unknown horrors are rampaging through the galaxy, when everything seems to be a sea of hopelessness, whether figuratively or in this case literally, protect your family with a box. Yes, Never Fail Bunkers are the best box for sitting in. when society around you crumbles. You have plenty of food and water to last you and your family a minimum of 6 months. Then you'll be ready to emerge to begin the business of rebuilding, and provided the war takes no longer than 6 months and the enemies leave the planet and don't irradiate it to the point of inhabitability. Never fail bunkers. They're clearly the solution to societal collapse. All right. So yes, this is going to be advice, and let's go over some basic. You all tell me your problems, and I'll give you advice on them. But I've got some real basic stuff that you can kind of start off with before you start bringing me every single little whiny complaint. The most important value in the Imperium is self-reliance. It's really picking yourself up by your bootstraps. You don't rely on anyone. You have to fend for yourselves. And if other people can't do that, it is for you to leave them as it is. So whenever there's pain, you shrug it off, you keep on going. Whenever there's suffering, you don't turn to other people. You don't try to sort out your feelings. You ignore it, and you just put your nose to the grindstone, and eventually you'll be emotionally dead inside, and it won't bother you anymore. All right, so we have, of course, first on the line, Chapter Master Calenus Ventuli. Pat, go ahead and put him on the line.
I believe that the Tau are weakened by my fleet burning their agri-world. A new offensive should topple their feeble empire. Rejoice, citizens.
Well, that is a very important service that we provide here on the Vox Opinion Network. Occasionally, we do open up our lines for emergency broadcasts, important Vox bulletins and things like that from the Emperor's angels themselves, or the angels of the angel, I suppose, in the case of the Lamenters, giving us the good news as far as crushing those weak, namby-pamby, let's all get along Tau. All right. There we go. So that's our first. So I do appreciate the donation, sparing a little bit of those tithes for. All right, we got another one. We got Joseph Eastham. Go ahead, Pat, and put him on. Hey, Adrian, I got a GMAT test tomorrow, and I have Dark Crusade now. What can I do? Can you please help? All right, Joseph Eastham. Here's what you have to do. Of course, your Dark Crusade has priority over advancing yourself and becoming in some kind of egghead intellectual and passing a test. But the other thing is you can't just come on here and complain about having to do two things at once, even though that's what I've invited everyone to do on here is to come here with the with questions, with asking for advice. So, Joseph Eastham, when you got two things to do, and the answer is simply you knuckle down, you get tough, you grit your teeth, and maybe grit teeth isn't the most helpful thing for doing well on a test. You probably ought to know things. But why don't you grit your teeth and learn the things that you need to do while also being completely prepared to go on your Dark Crusade for the Emperor, of course. I got Pirate Jack. My own son told me he wanted to go live with Zeno Tau, and I said, no, son of mine, and I made him put down a grok. So that's the way you foster emotional strength by taking the love of someone that you trust, and instead of discussing things with them or sorting out why he might have these traitorous feelings, you just take something that he loves and you destroy it right in front of him. Or have him destroy. What you did was even better. You have him destroy something that he loves, so that he will always remember that. He will always remember that and feel it down in the depths of his soul. And he might wake up in the middle of the night crying about it when he's an adult, when he's married, when he's got everything. No, your children are supposed to be little copies of yourselves, and if they aren't, the only thing to do is to respond with draconian discipline, especially if that was what was done to you. If it worked for you, if you are clearly an excellent individual, an excellent specimen of mankind, that needs to be drilled into your children. Literally, if necessary. Literally, if necessary. As a true conservative tech priest, I must say I like your left arm. It's a little bit of work here was done. More than once have I had to risk life and limb, in this case literally, for the Emperor of mankind, for the Imperium. Let no one say that this happened in an unrelated accident involving it might ignore any reports of illicit substances and traveling too fast on a stolen Torox. We're here to not focus on me. We're here to talk about you all and point out your weaknesses, not mine. All right, looks like we have someone a bit interesting going on here. We got Neuroptech. All right, we got Xenos coming in. Well, we're going to tell them how to do things the man way. All right, Pat, go ahead and put them on.
Neuroptech here. My dad said I can't have my own tomb ship, even though I'm old enough to fly one. Help me. Your advice has always been helpful. Thank you in advance.
All right, so we have a Necron here. Necron asking why won't his dad get him his own tomb ship, even though you're old enough? You ought to be old enough. Aren't you all ancient beings from before recorded time? I don't. Okay, so look. If you want something, you have to demand it, and if you are not given it, then you take it. That's the truth of the galaxy here. Is everything in this galaxy is not going to be given to you, even though I just said you asked for it. Or demand it. The only thing that people are going to respect is strength. And I know you all you Necrons have the orcs are celebrating Orktober and the Necrons are celebrating Spooktober and all that nonsense. But if you want your father to respect you, nothing says respect like disrespecting his property, disrespecting his wishes, and taking something that you feel you deserve. That's the Adrian Pius way. And we got Ibian 666. Freedom is taken, not given, young skeleton. Exactly. If you were human, You'd know this. If you were human, you wouldn't all be moping around in your vast tomb spaceships wondering what to do with yourself. That's the big problem with Necrons. They don't know what to do with themselves. They literally just start fighting themselves because they don't know what to do with themselves. It's like, well, am I going to go crazy and become a flayed one? Or am I going to go crazy and become a destroyer? Or am I going to be a mindless automaton? What should I do with myself? I'll just go crazy. You Necrons don't know what to do with yourselves, so you do anything with yourselves. World Eater legions are come to you, Adrian Pius. I'd like to see you try. Pat, they don't World Eaters are dumb, right? They can't figure out where we're Vox casting from. No, they'd need like Alpha Legion or the Word Bearers or somebody with some brains to tell them where things are. Otherwise they just massacre, right? No, they're idiots. They're not going to find us. Oh, okay, and then I'm not worried. We're well defended here. I am not worried about World Eaters. The way you stop World Eaters are with big guns. If you're not in chain axe distance, then you're fine. Just shoot them. All right. We got any other questions percolating around? For any of you, we got more people on the Voxcast now. We started with a fairly small number, so I'm going to let everyone who's arrived know what the story is. The truth is that the Xenos, the filthy Xenos known as Kevon Jones, thought that he could start his own Voxcast, and he dared to give advice. Who's going to listen to the advice of the Tau? We have the Necrons. Necrons are too old, and they're too old to like know what's going on anymore, to be able to relate to things. And the Tau, they don't know anything. Well, they were born yesterday, just about. No, we're not. None of that. So what I'm doing here is I'm not doing any of that namby-pamby nonsense advice. I'm giving real advice, real human advice, real man advice, Imperium of Man advice. So if you've got your questions, and I said this earlier, this is going to work the same way that the show normally works, which is you can, if you just post your questions, Pat and I will sift through them and we'll answer them as they pop up. But if you want to be taken live on the air, if you give a small donation, then Pat and I will take care of you and answer your question live on the air. All right, we got Chapter Master Kalanis Ventuli. I must send 2/3 of my fleet and try to ambush an incoming Cornate attack. My third and nearest battle fleet will consolidate our fleets to protect this hive world. They won't succeed. I appreciate that. It's good to know that the voice of the Imperium will be protected by the Emperor's faithful. That we're not going to be left to languish like, I don't know, some backwater or something. It doesn't matter. Let's see. We got any? I'll give you guys a chance to build up some of your questions. I'm going to go take a break and thank our sponsors. Has the spark gone out of your love life? Do you spend each evening staring at another holovid before flopping over and going to sleep beside your spouse? Well, put the magic back in your marriage with the Adrian Pius Love Master audio guide. If I can give opinions on politics, I could give you advice on how to bring the romance back too. Nothing says love like my soothing voice telling you to stop whining, be a man, and get it done right. The Adrian Pius Love Master Audio Guide. If you're considering buying it, you need all the help you can get. All right, excellent. Still not a whole lot of questions, but I really think that we have lots of. I mean, you all heard me talk about this before, but we're becoming an imperium of whiners. No, the labor situation isn't fair. Oh no, my planet was wiped out by hungry insects, and now I don't have anywhere to live, and now, oh no, everything's so terrible. Might as well betray the Imperium. Might as well join the Tau. Might as well sell my soul to the ruinous powers. Might as well roll over and die. Nonsense. That is all wimp talk. It's not about being in a situation that's out of your control that makes you miserable and you need help sometimes. It's all about being tough and maybe having a radio show that and a bunch of lucrative business contacts like that's also pretty helpful. But I did that without whining about it. I did it without complaining. I never complain about anything. I just get things done. And I hope you all enjoy me sharing my opinions about what's wrong with the galaxy in an enthusiastic manner. Because it's nothing like complaining. All right, let's take a look. We got a question. There are chemtrails in the sky over my forge world. Is this the work of liberal Xenos? Quite possibly. All right. So that's Rojaws coming in on that one. All right. Well, the truth is then what we want to ask Rojaws is are people still doing their work? Are they still getting their quotas done? Are they still serving the Emperor? Are they still pulling themselves up by their bootstraps and building the machinery that we need to crush our enemies? Because if they are, then I'm not. Then it might be something else. But if people are starting to look funny, I think blaming chemtrails and not examining the corruption among the nobles and planetary governor is something to look at. All right, we've got Miles O'Halloran. He's coming on here, and Pat gave us a nice little donation. Go ahead, Pat, put him on. Hey, Adrian, I just recently heard that a small group of Imperial heroes fought off the hand of Scarbrand and saved the day. So how would you reward those heroes? I would reward those heroes by if you are a hero of the Imperium. I'm going to go ahead and announce. I was going to announce this separately, but I think I'll announce it now. If you are a certified hero of the Imperium, then I am willing to give you a 10% discount on Adrian Pius Never Fail Bunkers. Because when things get bad, when unknown horrors are rampaging through the galaxy, when everything seems to be a sea of hopelessness, protect your family with a box. Yes, Never Fail Bunkers are the best box for sitting in when society around you is crumbling. You'll have food and water to last you at least 6 months, and then you'll be ready to emerge and begin the business of rebuilding society, providing the war takes no longer than 6 months and the enemies leave the planet and don't irradiate it to the point of inhabitability. Never Fail Bunkers, they're clearly the solution to your problems. Heroes of the Imperium, of course, get a 10% discount. How about that? See? Now, serving the Emperor is its own reward, but being generous is also a virtue, and but of course you got to earn it. You can't just come to me with your hands out. Yeah, and Tristan's right. Like serving the emperor is all the reward they need, which is true. But offering discount can also be lucrative for me as well. So. That's what you want to see. Though this is the thing about the chemtrails. Are the chemicals making you willing to die for the emperor? Then yeah, you don't want to stop that. If it's imperial chemtrails that are dispersing chemicals that instill loyalty in the populace, of course we want chemtrails. Yes, as Ibian has pointed out, what are you, some kind of traitor? No, we don't want alien influences coming in. So that let it never be said that I'm not balanced. Chemtrails, as dispensed by the emperor himself to instill a zeal that the low life menials might be lacking, is good. Is what is necessary. Of course, the emperor did it. Of course, it's good. But Zeno's subterfuge and manipulating the minds of mankind, corrupting their free will, no, not for a second. Are we gonna stand for that? And I think you want to keep. I think he's right that we ought to. That Miles should keep his eye out. It's the results that we want, and if the results are what we want, then it's fine. Seems like we've got a bit of a scuffle. All right, hey, Pat. Blanket seems to be saying an awful lot of heretical stuff. What we got? We got Vinnick here. We can Calidus. Any of those? Look, whatever the Assassinorum has lying around, just send it. Yeah, just send it. Yeah, if you got Eversor, send Eversor. I just want him dead. Yeah. Hey, let it never be said that the Emperor's angels don't need a helping hand as well sometimes. And the Adrian Pius show is willing to put their money where their mouth is as long as the money continues to flow, more or less. All right. Yes, of course. Smoke means progress. Worker has said it right on here. That's another thing. The Tau are whining about. It's like, oh no, you pollute the planet. You're destroying. Now you're stripping it all of the natural resources. This isn't sustainable. Resources on planets exist for humanity's use. Atmospheres exist for humanity's use. And it's not for some alien to come along and say, hey, you're using all this old kind of technology that is producing all kinds of terrible pollutants that are unnecessary, and you can update it and be more efficient. No, we are doing things the way we've always done things. Just get more pollution. Let's get some more pollution going on here. Everyone really should just, if you see a smokestack, give that smokestack a big old hug, because that smokestack is building our tanks, it's building our las guns, it's building the bulwarks of the Imperium, it's keeping you safe. That's what you ought to do. Now, what are the Tau clean running whatever nonsense, whatever that is? You don't hug them, because what are they building? They're building things to crush the will of mankind and make them slaves to their diabolic alien whims, whatever it is. All right. So we got a conversation. We got stuff from Pat saying there's a lot of conversations that aren't directed at me. I gotta mix up this signal because I think people are using this as a line of communication. But Pirate Jack has a true human question. I was working and I found a weird tumor on my arm. Do I need to go to a real doctor, or can I just shoot it off with my flashlight? Well, what you ought to do is it depends on there's a lot of people going around saying that I think you're going to have to it depends on your circumstance because there's no problem with going to a doctor, but I gotta say shooting it off with your las gun is a pretty admirable way to handle the situation. It's quick, it's efficient, it's manly. I think you want to. We have, as long as you're going to a real magus biologist, I think you're good. As long as it's real, a man's man, a man's doctor, a machine man's doctor. That's what we're gonna do. I think that answers the question. Yeah, tumors mean pollution, and pollution means productivity. So be happy for your tumor. Yeah, Rojaws. That's the best way to think about it. What? Who the hell is Pius? I thought this was no. This is not a public chatting line. This is a Vox. This is my Voxcast call-in line. This is not for public chatter. This is. And worker, aren't you supposed to be working? What are you doing chatting? Unless you are on your 4-hour unless you're on your 4-hour sleep break, you should be working. How's that 20-hour shift going? Now, someone get that menial back to work. Now, what if his assigned work is to chat? That sounds like a Tao job. Somebody's just getting paid to talk. Imagine someone just sitting on their backside that's being paid all day to do nothing except talking to a Vox line. That if there's anything if there's anything more disgusting than that, that's clearly some sort of alien. Some sort of alien contrivance. Ridiculous. You know what? I bet that would be the way the Xeno sympathizers would. Everyone just gets to be paid to sit around all day, sharing their opinions that nobody asked for, and then you just shovel tons of money at them. Yeah, that's wise. That's just sickening right there. Sickening. I mean, I think this is pretty good. I think this is pretty good so far because we don't have very many problems that people are sharing. And I think that speaks well of my audience. Because people who listen to Adrian Pius are not weak-willed, pathetic idiots that need advice, that need to talk about their feelings. The best. Now, of course, it is true that not all feelings are bad. Sometimes there's anger. Sometimes there's outrage. You can have manly feelings. Sometimes there's disgust, contempt, hatred of the alien and the heretic. Eric Rayner says his feet hurt. I mean, suck it up. Everyone's feet hurt. You think my arm felt great? when I lost it bravely in whatever scenario I said happened that caused me to lose it? All right, Niels Ebsen coming in. Go ahead, say your piece.
Thank you, Adrian. As a loyal menial, I must say that you have my respect. You care nothing for our interests. But you don't pretend to either, unlike Cyrus Amati.
But see, that's the thing. Workers really need to accept that their plight doesn't mean anything. Look, you are a cog in a machine, and just keep on turning, little cog. Don't upset the apple cart. Don't cause a ruckus. Don't cause a rise. Just keep grinding away, and accept that that's the way you're going to be treated. Because if you work hard enough, if you bleed long enough hours, if you suffer enough, then you'll climb. Then you have a chance of being the guy that makes other people work. Yeah, of course. All right. Hey, Adrian, lost a leg in manufacturing accident. I need advice if I should get a robot leg. All right. Well, if what I'll do, I'll have Pat send this to you, because I know a good tech priest that specializes in augmetics. He did my eye, he did the arm. He's not cheap, but I'll send you the information. And if you happen to be on the other side of the galaxy, I'm sure whatever tech butcher you've got lying around is probably fine. It's all about being able to pay for it. And if you can't pay for it, well, you got to suck it up and work harder, even if you've lost your leg in an industrial accident. Even if you've lost your leg in an industrial accident because safety is not taken into consideration at your workplace, that's nobody's fault but your own for working in a dangerous workplace. Come on now. Come on. It's your job as the menials to know how to keep everything working. And if things are dangerous, that's your fault. It's not mine. Don't look at me to have any kind of sympathy. All right, got another question coming up here. I have a squat buddy who says him and his friend should be rewarded for his race being wiped for the Emperor. I don't even know what that means. How should I respond? I have a squat buddy who says him and his friends should be rewarded for his race being wiped for the Emperor. All right. I have a question for you. Does your quote-unquote squat buddy exist? Got wiped out for so they got wiped out for the Emperor. See, I don't think that your squat buddy can tell you this because the squats don't exist. At this point, I'm inclined to believe they're a myth. All right. My advice to your imaginary friend is do it again, please. Just leave out the please. Squats are a myth. They're just a tale of that's like the Dark Angels are heretics. A complete myth. The Emperor is not this great figure. He's just a skeleton sitting on an ancient machine. No. That's nonsense. It's nonsense. I think we got. It might be some brain troubles going on there. All right, we're gonna take another break and thank our sponsors. So my friends ask me whether they should invest in plasteel or adamantium. And the truth is, the price of plasteel is at an all-time high, which of course means that going into Plasteel to an even will completely benefit you. It's not a bubble that's about to pop. It's going up high, which means it's only going to go higher. And if you want to get in on this trend way, way, way too late to get much back in your investment, get in on it right now with the Adrian Pius Plasteel Investment Guide. It's a book with words in it telling you to buy Plasteel. Can you buy Plasteel without my guide? Probably, but I wouldn't recommend it. Because if you don't buy it, I don't get paid. So buy the Adrian Pius Plasteel Investment Guide today. If everyone else is cashing in on this opportunity, then why can't I? All right. Yeah, there's probably pictures. My publisher probably put pictures in there. My audience really likes brightly colored pictures and messaging and loud sound bites. So probably, almost certainly. All right, let's. There you go. Any advice on finding new hobbies? My only two hobbies are building furniture and clipping my nails. All right. I got two more hobbies to give you, worker. Loving the Emperor and loving the Imperium. How about that? How about that for some hobbies? They're not. These aren't hobbies. These are ways of life. How about stop having hobbies and have ways that you live your life? Hobbies are for people who don't know what to do with themselves. What's next going to happen? You're gonna spend all of your time and money collecting small plastic miniatures and conducting mock battles on some tabletop? Come on now. Don't pretend to die for the Emperor, but die for the Emperor. All right, I've never heard these myths. Why are you being sent myths by Xenos? Almost certainly. I'm gonna be honest here. There, aside from the Emperor and maybe the High Lords and some Inquisitors and Primarchs, I am a pretty darn big deal here in the Imperium. So it does not surprise me that insidious Xenos forces have targeted Adrian Pius to spread misinformation. Speaking of misinformation, here we go. Hello, Adrian. I've been meaning to ask, what is chaos? Well, we've got some very special friends headed to you right now, Disturbed Renegade, and they'll be able to explain exactly what that is, as they have some questions to ask you. Once you answer their questions, I'll be happy to answer yours. So, well, we'll just that'll take a little while. So you have fun with that. All right. So yeah, I think. Look, we got. I've been complaining a lot about Xenos, but we really ought to talk also about heretics. And heretics, honestly, it's not that much different than Xenos. They're a bunch of liars that are trying to enslave you to their corrupt way of thinking. They're just spreading nonsense. They're spreading the same thing Xenos want you to believe. Don't believe in the Emperor. Don't put your faith in mankind. Put your faith in some other god. Put your faith in something ridiculous. You know, it's just complete snake oil salesmen. They're trying to convince you to buy into their way of thinking so they can profit off of you. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to turn you into suckers and buy what they're selling. They're just a bunch of stupid blowhards that have because they've been bamboozled. And once you've been bamboozled, the only thing to do is to bamboozle other people into making some kind of profit off of it. Speaking of making profit, I'd like to thank our sponsors once more. As always, let's discuss Adrian Pius Never Fail Bunkers. Because Never Fail Bunkers are the most trusted name in bunkers. Because if you and your family find themselves on a planet that's being overrun because too many of people on your planet were listening to Kevon Jones and his nonsense about, oh, let's just all get together, and then you got tricked and bamboozled, and now you're being invaded by Xenos hordes, you can trust in Never Fail Bunkers. Protect your family by putting them in a box. Yes, Never Fail Bunkers are the best box for sitting in when society crumbles around you because weak-willed people decided to have feelings. You'll have plenty of food and water to last you and your family a minimum of 6 months. Afterwards, you're on your own. You'll have to emerge and begin the business of rebuilding, provided, the war doesn't take any longer than 6 months, and the enemies leave the planet and don't irradiate it or corrupt it to the point of inhabitability. Never Fail Bunkers. Go live in a box for a while. Why not? All right. Are the negative? Got questions. Are Never Fail Bunkers sturdy enough to survive Exterminatus and become a space pod for 6 months? All right, Eric Rayner, let me give you the facts on Never Fail Bunkers. We have not heard any complaints. We have received no complaints about Never Fail Bunkers failing. Not a single one. I have never seen anyone seen a planet get Exterminatus and then hear any complaints from that planet. So hopefully that's going to be enough to really sell you on the strength and necessity of Never Fail Bunkers. It's still got chapter master Calinus and Thule, just letting you know you are arranging your plans on a public Vox wave. Just to let you know. But as always, we appreciate the support of the Lamenters, Sons of the Angel, Angels of the Emperor, Double Angels, if Angels squared, I suppose it is. All right, so any other questions? I'm going to go take a look. Any other questions? I'm looking for. Make sure you put a question mark in your, because some people I think are asking questions and they're not. There's no punctuation in these, so make sure you're sending your stuff to Pat with proper. Adrian Pius, how much do you get paid to sit and answer? Yeah, there's no question. That's just a statement. So I'm not going to answer that one. All right. What are listeners going to do? What are listeners going to do about it? I am quite interested to hear. Yes, what are you listeners going to do about the movements of the Lamenters? Because as we know, the Lamenters have a track record of sorts. So, when do mistakes ever lead to any kind of bad result for the Lamenters? All right. Adrian Pius, half your crew, Ratman. What? What are you going on? Blanket Vertuli ship invasion by Rat. Blanket. I think you were a heretic. Now you're a rat man. Whatever. I think we can hold up Blanket here as an example of the corrupting effect of heresy and palling around with Xenos. This is a ruined mind, a ruined shell who's just feeding off of various delusions and madness, and this is just his stream of nonsensical blabber is what you could expect. Does Pat have a surname? Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson. Right, Pat? Yeah, Pat's giving me the thumbs up. The old thumbs up. Pat Patterson. Everyone come see end time come. I think we're just watching a sad little mind this is what happens when you stand in opposition to the emperor. This is what you get. Let's take a look at the other losers that are. What else we got? We got Kevon Jones standing in opposition to the emperor. Are you going to be Kevon Jones, a weak little blue man who controls a tiny little corner of the galaxy that could be wiped out if a small Orc sneezes at him? Yeah, is that what you want? You want to be like that? Living in hoping desperately that nobody pays any attention to you. Do you want to be Cyrus Amani, who basically isn't any different? He's got no eyes. He's got all sorts of soft ideas. And now you got Blanket just babbling on about the end times, and he's just in a sad little world. Can you believe Kevon Jones? Yeah, we was getting on the Vox waves, believing that he's untouchable, that his fleet of defenders will protect him, as he just sits on his backside and just blabbers out into the Vox waves, raking in his donations. I can't. What's that, Pat? No, he can't. No, he didn't beat us in the ratings. He's beat us in the ratings every time. No. Pat, turn the chart upside down. I don't care if it was right set up to begin with. Turn it upside down. No, I want our line to be higher than his line. However way you do it, Pat. Just get it done. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's take a look. Greetings. I must ask that you venture out and try to strike at the incoming Chaos fleet. Will you help? Yeah. If anybody can offer assistance to the chapter master, if you've got ships, if you've got guns, now's the time. Because the safety of this station is of utmost importance to the security of the Imperium. Because the voice of the Imperium, the voice of the Imperium, your very own Cyrus, your very own Adrian Pius. I was going to say Pius, and I was still mad about Cyrus Amani. Your own Adrian Pius is really needs to be able to continue to do what is necessary. Oh, we have another chapter master. All right. I'm feeling secure now. Here we go. Let's give a salute to the Emperor's angels. Can we get some salutes for the Emperor's angels? Can we get some for the Emperor? Let's see who on the Vox waves is a loyal citizen of the Imperium. Can we get a for the Emperor? For the Emperor. Ave Imperator. There we go. There we go. Getting some good reactions here. All right, so for those of you that are we're dealing with some troubles out there, troubles. But our boys in Mustard are taking care of it. So let's get back to the topic on hand, which is advice to really strengthen your resolve and will. Now, some people might say that if you are upset, if you are depressed or feeling anxious, that there are steps you want to take to treat that. That if you do have your anxiety or depression treated, that this overcoming these mental problems can produce more mental resiliency. And I'm telling you, mental resiliency doesn't come from examining your problems and being treated by a professional. It comes from good old grit and determination. It comes from pulling yourself up by your bootstraps to making your mark on the galaxy, and not relying on government handouts, not relying on the lies of the Xenos to bail you out and take care of you and insert an implant into your brain so that you believe whatever you want and dance around for a bunch of laughing Xenos and heretics. That's what they're selling you on. That's what they're selling you on. I gotta say, it's been pretty interesting to listen. Those are some big fleets. All right. What do we got here? Any other questions? Now, Blanket's still going on saying nonsense. We don't have any questions. And I think that's true. It's like my listeners don't have questions. They are not because they're dealing with their own problems. They don't need me to deal with them for them. And if there's anything that can solve your problems, it's one of the many products that are endorsed by Adrian Pius. So if you want to take control of some of the problems in your life, why don't you take a look at Adrian Pius Love Master Audio Guide. Has the spark gone out of your love life? Do you spend each evening staring at yet another holovid before flopping over and going to sleep beside your spouse? Well, why don't you put the magic back in your marriage with the Adrian Pius Love Master Audio Guide? If I can give my opinions on politics and the state of the galaxy at large, I can give you advice to bring the romance back too. Nothing says love like my soothing voice telling you to stop whining, to be a man, and to get it done right. Nothing gets the ladies warmed up like the Adrian Pius Love Master Audio Guide. If you're considering buying it, you definitely need all the help you can get. All right, here we go. We have our good friend the Necron coming back on. Pat Patterson, go ahead and put that.
Hello, Adrian. I wish to give you an update. I'm now getting my tomb ship permit. I'll fly by the studio so that you can see it in person. I sincerely appreciate it.
Um, hey, all those, we might have some, incoming ships. So, everyone kind of be on your toes about, potential tomb ship, just phasing into existence somewhere in the system. I'll keep my eyes out. Up, and there it. All right, guys, can you? It makes me a little uncomfortable. So I trust our forces to deal with that. So, all right. Hey, we have plenty of problems. Like why do corrupt nobles who don't care about the emperor nor the imperium skim all the fat while menials and fighting men bear the brunt? See, that's the result of the cause. Now, I'm not saying there aren't corrupt nobles. Anyone can see that there are corrupt nobles. But what corrupt nobles do is they do the stuff that Cyrus Amani says. They say, hey, we'll have all these programs. Hey, we'll collect all these tithes. Hey, we'll give you everything you need so that you'll be happy and you won't have to do all that much. And that's where all of this skimming comes from, because all of this goes into big bloated government programs that they then take for themselves. That's what happens. Now, what never happens is you don't have people who are in charge telling you to work hard, to grit your teeth, to aspire to something better, and to do without. Who still charge really high tithes and don't spend it on improving your situation, and still enrich themselves, but they don't even make an effort to seem like they're trying to help you out. You know, that's just not what people who share my political outlook do. All of those funds clearly go uh, to our various military branches. That's where it's coming from. Mm-hmm. Do. So thank you once again, everyone who's donated so far. Well, do nobles really see themselves as corrupt? See, I this is the thing. This is the burning question. Are nobles idiots? Are corrupt nobles idiots who are soft-minded and they think they're going to fix everything by spending a bunch of money and having a bunch of bloated uh, government programs that create dependency that ensure that they remain in power? Is it just soft-headedness, or is it active malevolence? Are they actively trying to create a population of dependent idiots so they can remain in power and continue to enrich themselves? That's the question. Are they stupid, or are they diabolic? And we here at the Adrian Pius say both, because clearly you can both be a diabolic genius, in a Machiavellian way, conducting and manipulating the populace into getting your way. But you can also be a stupid ivory tower intellectual who doesn't understand what's going on around them. And you can also be at the same time a dupe, a poor nobody, a poor menial who buys into the. They're all of those things. Everything that I think is bad is what the corrupt nobles are. And none of them hold opinions that I have. They just don't. I've got a we've got a lot of still more chatter about the Necrons and their tomb ships and their and who people's sons getting things. We're we're the one thing somebody mentioned it now. We were talking about Eldari soap operas. Now we're not. I was having a good Vox cast, and now you've made me think of the Eldari. Now they're probably, I don't know who is stupid enough to fall for their promises, because the value of an Eldari life to them is worth more than millions, if not one Eldari life. If it takes billions of humans' lives to save the life of one Eldari, to them that's worth it. To them that's worth it. So any advice they're going to give you, you've got the Tau trying to give advice. Now the Tau are doing it. They're both malevolent and they're stupid in the way they go about it, because they probably kind of believe that submitting yourself to alien rule is what's in humanity's best interest. What's in humanity's best interest is for men to rule themselves, to take charge of themselves, to be rugged individualists who are able to really tough this all out. Soap, some kind of ration bar. It can be for a resourceful menial. It can be. Rendered animal fat, hey, you know what? Food is food. And the resourceful individuals pulling themselves up by their bootstraps is going to be able to do that. I got any other questions? What is soap? Yeah, same thing. But doesn't that make them dependent idiots benefiting off the back of... Where are we going? Did I miss something from Disturbed Renegade? But doesn't that make them dependent idiots benefiting off the back of the average civilian? Exactly. Exactly. Everything I said makes them dependent idiots, benefiting off the backs of the average citizen. Exactly. It's the average citizen who is making the wheels of the Imperium turn. It's not ivory tower intellectuals. It's not the lowest of the low ganger whose life has been an unfortunate set of circumstances. The answer to everything is, the things I say. Adrian, Pius, how do you grip anything with that bionic hand? Very skillfully. I can grip just about anything. You'd be surprised how many PSIs that can manage. Wait a minute. Is somebody saying that the High Lords of Terra, who have access to the Officio Assassinorum, have access to all branches of the military, who if they wanted to, could exterminate any planet they so chose? Someone on a public forum is saying that they are incompetent. You implicated that, Adrian. I didn't implicate anything. I can imply things, but I'm not going to implicate. I didn't say the High Lords. I'm talking about, local governors. Come on, Adrian, speak the Emperor's truth. The issue isn't that menials are expected to man our posts and our duty. It's that some nobles don't. Sure, and those nobles are the ones that are my political opponents. Everything bad is caused by people that don't agree with me, because they're evil and stupid and greedy and incompetent. They're all of those things, all at once. And those are things that I'm not, that my supporters aren't. Look, stop trying to think about this and just accept my word for how all of this works. Like I'm just hearing a complaining menial that wants to put the blame somewhere other than themselves. That's what I'm hearing here. Just an excuse. Blanket. How many branches of the Imperium's military are closing in on you right now? It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. When I wonder if Blanket is going to continue to send Vox messages while he's being obliterated by the thunderous guns of the Emperor. Yeah, if the Emperor had any issue with the current system, then His Grace would personally change the system as needed. Exactly. All right, so I've gone on for a fair bit of time, and I think I'm gonna start wrapping things up. So we're gonna do another chance for a round of questions, and then I think I'm gonna wrap things up, give you my final thoughts on the issue. Um, so once again, going to turn over to our sponsors and the Adrian Pius Plasteel Investment Guide. So my friends ask me whether they should invest in plasteel or adamantium. The truth is that the price of plasteel is at an all-time high, and I want you to ignore your friends that say buy low and sell high, because if something's gone really, really high in price, that means it's going to get even higher with time. So if you want to get on this trend way too late to get much back on your investment before the bubble pops, then get on this hot new investment trend with the Adrian Pius Plasteel Investment Guide. It's a book with words in it, and I'm told by Pat that it also has pictures. And what does it do? It tells you to buy plasteel. Can you buy plasteel without my guide? Maybe, but I wouldn't recommend it. Because if you don't buy it, I don't get paid. So buy the Adrian Pius Plasteel Investment Guide. If everyone else is cashing in on this opportunity, then why can't I? All right, here we go. We got Ricardo Ospina. Hey, Adrian. Why do I not hear praise for Nomanicus? I hear he's the best and the coolest. Now, I don't want to. I didn't want to reveal sources, but I mentioned the Adrian Pius uh, guide to Love Master Guide. I must be honest and say that Nomanicus, in large part, told me everything he knows that goes into that guide. Because, look, the answer, I think that's really, maybe that's the lesson that we ought to finish off with, is that Nomanicus should be the model for everyone to follow, because no one is cooler than Nomanicus. He's great. He's awesome. He gets all of the chicks. He even gets more chicks than I do. And he can beat anything with his really cool swords and his two hot sword ladies. So you heard it here from Adrian Pius. Nomanicus is super, 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 super cool. All right, we got Chapter Master Calinus Ventuli. He's got another Voxcast coming in. Go ahead.
To the people of this sector, a miracle has been presented to us in the form of the Loyalist Night Lord fleet. The Master Captain is our ally.
That's good to hear. We always use more strength. And while neither Chapter Master Calinus nor the Master Captain is as cool as Nomanicus, we here at the Vox Opinion Network really appreciate their support. Coming in with Lorenzo. Go ahead, Lorenzo. You're on the air. Hey, just wanted to know your thoughts on the upcoming election regarding Governor Gregg, and more importantly, can we trust his district attorney, Darby Hent? Look, I'm in local politics. We've got Ordinate Sumalis, and we've got Governor Gregg, and I think there's a lot of dangerous talk going surrounding the election of Governor Gregg. There's talk of democracy. There's talk of fair wages. There's talk of, and it's just a little suspicious for me. So I've got my concerns that we've got money grubbing heretics and Xenos lovers. That's all kind of surrounding that. I'm not here to give an endorsement. I'm here to tell you all what to think, so that way you can decide how things are going with Governor Gregg. But I gotta say, Ordinate Musalis sounds like an egghead, and Governor Gregg sounds like he doesn't know what's going on. So, heck, why not vote Adrian Pius or Nomanicus? You know what? Nomanicus. I'm endorsing Nomanicus. As far as District Attorney Darby Hent, I, for one, believe in Darby Hent. All right, Niels Ebsen coming in hot. Hey, Adrian, the never on you. I've never missed my quota. I've oft exceeded it. I'm on a paradise world just south of Fenris with unions and dutiful nobles. Things actually work here, and do so for the good of the Imperium. Look, I'm just saying that things can work, things can be different, and I don't know where you get off trying to protect these nobles who aren't doing their duty. Look, I'm holding nobles' feet to the fire here, because there are nobles who are going soft, and you know, not everyone lives on a paradise world. You know, some people, you know what? Pressure mines got to be mined, and there's no. I could tell you, working in a mine is never a paradise. So maybe you all, can make your truffles or make your artisan glassware or make whatever it is that you make in your paradise world. But the truth is that some of us have to live in the real world, have to live on real worlds, even that your paradise world probably exists as a result of sensible governance, and that you guys probably produce very complicated tech that can't be produced on other planets more efficiently. Look, I'm not going to acknowledge things that go against my narrative. So, Niels Ebsen, that's the honest truth coming from me. All right. All right, so we've been going on for a while. I think I appreciate everyone who has helped support the Adrian Pius show, especially Nomanicus. He's just so cool. But we had Niels Ebsen, and we've had Eric Rayner and Old Man Skeletal. We had someone early, and I'm so bad. I'm forgetting. We've had other people we of course had Chapter Master Calanus Ventuli. There's somebody else who was very early on, donated, and I'm trying to remember. If I've forgotten, I do apologize, but I do appreciate every bit of donation that everyone has. So, all right, so I think we're going to be signing off here. For all of you still listening, if we've dropped off a little bit, for all of you still listening, continue to listen to the Adrian Pius show, continue buying Adrian Pius products, and somehow that is going to be the answer to all of the problems in the Imperium, is, of course, by continuing to enrich me. So thank you all very much for listening to the Adrian Pius show. This is Adrian Pius, voice of the Imperium, and I will be signing off. Best of luck to the brave souls defending this station from alien and heretic invasion. This is Adrian Pius, once again signing off.